Welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show my Staff of the Dead Pure, which I did make a video on a long time ago, but those were the stats in case any of you have forgotten. I should have made this video a long time ago. I kind of just got preoccupied with other things. But anyway, this is going to be my starting bank value. We'll kind of go back to it at the end, but I've got everything written down so I can just tell you what the changes are near the end. So this is the first time we're going to go PKing on this account. As you can see here, I've got lots of like teleblock and entangle runes. Mini spoiler, I don't actually use all those throughout this video. I kind of don't worry about it. I can KO people easily enough without having to use them, and I think the extra bits of food will help. So anyway, welcome to my PK vid. I am 90 mage and 59 combat. I would recommend watching my first video. It's kind of like the account creation video, not exactly a progress vid, not a guide, but it kind of just shows how I made it and why I made it this way. Because as a 90 mage account, I obviously don't have enough, my magic level's not high enough to use Fire Surge, but with the imbued heart it is. Now, I don't really want to risk the imbued heart, or at least a valuable item when I'm PKing, kind of a cheapskate, but as you can see, I've used it in the bank and then I just come out PKing. So this is my very first PK trip, I believe. I think it's my very first trip as well. Now, this was recorded over a year ago, so this is old bounty hunter through and through. You don't even need emblems at this point to get other emblems, like that's how old this was. But later on in the video, I do bring emblems. This was my first time. I wasn't entirely sure how easily I could die and stuff, but you can see with a 40, it's kind of easy to get kills in this account, and there's an emblem without having an emblem in my inventory, so definitely from a long time ago. Now, sadly, my editing skills have not improved in the slightest. I did my best, but definitely not terrific, so I'm sorry for it. But as you can see there, a 45, that is our max, and I do believe that's a pretty good hit for this combat range because, I mean, obviously Gmauls can stack more, but most people have about a 67 HP, I would say. Maybe average it to 70 because there's some obby maulers with like a huge HP. But you know, this guy here, he would probably have just a little bit higher than me, like maybe 68. But this happens a lot where people bring out their granite maul, get ready to spec, and then because they can't eat, they just get stacked out with the venom and the thing. So yeah, definitely pretty good. So there's another max hit. That's an obby mauler with 99 strength. They're a bit harder to kill, but honestly, it's pretty hard to die to them as well because obviously the Staff of the Dead spec is extremely good against them. So this guy here actually has less HP than me, only 60. I really do like this kind of icon. I think this is OS Buddy I was using at the time, and it definitely made it easy for the fights. I could just check the HP level, know how much I had to eat and stuff. Another max, I think I zoom in on the maxes and stuff. Not terrific editing, but anyway. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, when they have low HP, actually I try not safe in pretty much all my fights. Like obviously if they have a really good way to kill me, like rune knives to rune crossbow and then a Gmaul is a great way to kill this account. But I try not to safe as much as possible, especially when my spec's up, because then it's really hard for them to hit me. Like right there, he spec'd me because I was kind of not safing, and you know, I wasn't really that much in danger. Obviously if he maxed out I would still die, but that would happen on any account anyway, so I can't just overly safe. The spec is really good. These hits are really nice, and yeah, I definitely did enjoy PKing on this account. It got a little bit stale due to the fact that, you know, there's not too much click intensive, like pretty much the main thing is when to eat and when not to eat, but it was still fun. I enjoyed making the account. Anyway, this is another fight here. I think when they have low mage levels, it's just, I hit so constantly. Like sometimes, you know, pures get 82 mage and stuff, but the ones that don't, I just hit constant 40s, and it's so easy to get kills. Now, as you can see, I am using emblems now, and I think I have been for a while, I only just realized. But you can actually see as I go throughout the vids, they are in sequential order. So generally my emblems will stay, you know, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, all the way up. At this point, it was best money to go for tier 7s, I believe. They were super easy to sell and super quick. So most emblems I try to get to tier 7, and that's pretty much where I stop, and then I just, you know, start again. So anyway, that's just something to keep on to think on the side. This guy got away. I think he was risking a tier 6, which obviously is a tier 5 if he dies, and he still had food. I remember this. I saw that he had sharks and all this, but obviously he wanted to teleport away, which is fine. I mean, he used his specs and everything, but hey, I got the tier 5. Pretty happy about that, and definitely makes getting a tier 7 nice and easy. Now, in this next clip, you can see I use my Toxic Staff of the Dead spec really early, like pretty much when the fight starts, and the reason for that is two reasons. One, If we fight for a minute, generally they're out of food, like most of the time. And second, most people spec within the first minute. So after they use their specs, I don't really mind about not having the melee defense bonuses, or, reduction at least. So that's why I always use my spec early on. If they don't use their specs, that's fine. I'm willing to try and tank it, but as this guy and most other people, they use their specs relatively early, and it just makes me surviving a lot more common, I guess. I will talk about how many times I died throughout the end of this video, but that's pretty much why I use my specs nice and early, because everyone does, and if they stay for a whole minute without using their specs, then that gives me enough time to try and KO them, and then if they survive that, I'm willing to let them try and KO me. Like, I'm not going to just teleport away after my specs run out. I might safe a little bit more, but, I generally try not to save throughout the entire fight, so when my spec runs out, I'll eat a bit more, but not overly safe. I'll just, try and not die, as you're meant to do with PKing, surely. Anyway, this is another fight. This guy has 57 hit points. Like, there's just no way I don't kill him. As soon as my venom stacks up to like a 10, I can literally one-shot him from full HP. So, yeah. When I see people with low HP, it's generally pretty easy. Just don't die straight away and you're good to go. Something that was actually super overpowered with this account was Guthix Rest. I mean, because they don't hit me too much anyway, obviously they do with range, but not with melee, Guthix Rest heal, I think, 5 every time, and it just helps so much because you can still attack the same turn. So depending on how much Guthix Rest you use, it's super easy to just keep getting DPS in and pretty much KO them, because not as many people use Guthix Rest as you would believe. I think some obby pures do, but that's about it. Most people don't have them. Most people, like, when you're looking at these clips, they don't really have Guthix Rests. I probably should have used them more, to be honest, but oh well. Anyway, this guy was doing a spec Venge thing, which could definitely kill me because I did not have my spec up and I maxed on his Venge. But luckily I didn't die. He comes straight back though, and most people don't do this actually. Most people have one shot at killing me and they give up. But I think because I maxed on him and maybe he felt like he was close to getting me. I don't think he was, but he came back. He did bank his tier, I think he had a tier 9 if I saw correctly. But that's fine, doesn't really matter. I'm happy to try and get an upgrade, and I'm just going to be a little bit careful. Because he's, spec rushing, when he comes in for the spec, I'm just going to run away. I'm not going to let him get me for free. I don't really like people who rush. As silly as it is that I have a 10 HP rushing account, I still don't like rushes, so I'm not going to let him rush me for free. I'll just keep running, which is fine. I kill him anyway, and I get a free upgrade. Now, knives are probably the hardest thing to deal with in this account. I have really low hit points, and they hit so quick and so fast, and with a rune crossbow, they can stack me out. Now, I do try and anti-fire as much as I can, but I think in this one, I forgot to. Like, looking at my imbued heart in the very bottom, it looks like I forgot to anti-fire, so I was a little bit scared, because when I don't have anti-fire, rune knives to rune crossbow easily stacks me out. But as you see, I'm still hitting really good, and I just have to be a little bit careful, but she hasn't used any rune crossbow yet, and most people just use knives to G-Maul, and if it's knives to G-Maul, I don't feel too bad because I do have my spec ready, but I just do have to be careful with the rune crossbow. I should have anti-fired, and I try to do it as much as I can because they were so cheap at this point. They probably still are cheap, but I think it was like, 400 GP for a super anti-fire, and when she brings out the G-Maul, she can't eat, so she dies. It's the same thing. I think in this clip, yeah, I brought them both, and I was just like, alright, in case I forget, I'm just going to bring them both in my inventory, because don't want to forget anymore. So rune crossbow, here we go, super hard, it's the easiest way to kill me, and I am pretty much out of food, so it looks like I'm going to have to get ready to tally, but I guess I kill him on this last hit. Yeah, once he brings out the G-Maul. I don't know, it's just the most common way to get kills. As soon as they can't eat, they just always die. Oh, he had dragon throwing knives. Wow. Okay, so he had multiple ways to kill me. If he used that instead of the G-Maul, he probably could have killed me, actually. A mistake I regret making when editing this video was removing the deaths in sequential order, because I just wanted to add them in the end as kind of like a mini montage, kind of like how I did my 10 HP account. But honestly, I should have just kept them in, and then you guys could see me die, when I die, and like how often I get kills. But I might as well just inform you now. In total, I got 8 recorded deaths, and one of them was a high risk, or not super high risk, but it was like a high-ish risk fight. But yeah, so in total, I only died 8 times, not too bad. I mean, it's pretty hard to kill this account. Like, all I'm doing is focusing on eating. Like, I have no specs really, I use spec in the beginning. I just have to figure out what their DPS is and how it goes. So this is a high risk fight. I'm not using my I'm not using my toxic staff for the dead. I'm just using a Gothic staff because he doesn't want to do a super high risk. If he was willing to risk his God Sword because he has a God Sword, then I'd be willing to risk my Toxic Staff, but... So it's not a super high risk fight, it's just a small high risk fight, and he has just a bit of cash on him. He showed me in the bank, and I trust him enough to, you know, bring it, so yeah. I don't actually know what my max hit with this is. I was just like, his stats don't look great. He's 75 attack, how is he going to KO me anyway? So I was happy to take this high risk fight, well, semi-high risk fight. I don't know what I'm risking. I'm probably risking like 2 mil maybe not even that, maybe 1.5 actually. So yeah, it's not too bad, but I'm not sure what my max hit is. I'm just hoping that the Venom kind of, oh no wait, do I even have Venom? Actually, I have no idea why I'm doing this fight. Like, the chance of me KOing him, as long as he eats, is super low, but I guess his stats were bad enough that I thought it was worth the risk. But yeah, maybe not my wisest decision actually, now thinking about it. Anyway, so as you can see, his stats are 75 attack and 71 strength. So I think he must be a few combats higher than me actually. I'm going to try and check. This is a bit of a long clip. Maybe I should have sped it up. But it was my first high risk-ish fight. I did do quite a few. Alright, so he was 65 combat. So he's 6 levels higher than me. Somehow I got him. I guess he was focusing on his spec or something. I'm not sure. But we got 1 mil. Not bad. Not terrific. I don't know why I did that fight now thinking about it. I had no Venom. That's my best way to kill him. Anyway, this is another rusher, as you can see. He rushed me. He's only got a tier 2 though. When people rush, I generally just go to MS Obby's house and just replenish my spec and everything. But sometimes what I do is when I'm getting a rusher, I spec in the pool, next to the pool, get my spec back, and then right now I've still got my protection on because it was less than a minute, and I can still use my spec as soon as I want. So right here, the protection fades away, and then I just spec again straight away. So he has like no chance to kill me. Like, I think he's using a rune crossbow or something, but even that's not good enough. Like, I'm going to safe against a rusher anyway, so I'm not letting him have any chances to kill me. And when he specs, he dies. Happens a lot. I was a bit, I wouldn't say toxic here. I said haha. He rushed me a few times, alright? There was a few people that are known for rushing, at least back then, and he was definitely one of them. I don't even know why he fought me. I guess he thought he would kill me with a rune crossbow. Anyway, most people were good sports about it. Like, you know, this guy here, he just says good fight after the fight, which, respect. I mean, it wasn't even a fair fight, to be honest. Like, that's the one thing I didn't really like about this account. I don't feel like any fights were fair, and lots of people told me that. Like, when I was walking around, they're like, how is this a fair fight? Like, you just hit so much more, you'll never die and all this, and I'm like, yeah, like, 42, 42, 45. I'm not entirely sure what that person's meant to do apart from telly away, and theoretically I could telly block, not that I was going to do that. I thought that was a little bit too harsh, and, you know, I actually do use quite a bit of food, so there's no point, you know, bringing all the extra runes, I thought. Anyway, just bantering on about my time PKing here. I've actually made quite a few PK accounts. Like, back when it was 2007, I made a rune pure with my best friend, and, like, you know, we did the work together. We got it 94 mage, got it vengeance, and now its strength wasn't even great. I think it was like 60 attack. No, I think it was actually 70 attack. Back then, whip was the meta. So I think it was 70 attack and like 85 strength. And we were like, oh my god, this is the best account ever. When it really wasn't. But we did make vids on it as well. And there was like this one weekend where I was sleeping over at his place for like the entire weekend. And we PK'd like 4 or 5 whips. And we were just like ecstatic. We thought we were the best and everything. It does bring back fond memories, and honestly, that's probably why I started PKing again through, you know, OSRS. The very first account I made on this new server, on this new, you know, I guess, yeah, server, was a 60 attack pure. So it's like 60 attack, 90 strength, and 95-ish range. Honestly, I wasn't very good at it. I had fun, but I'm not the greatest PKer. My next account was a 1 attack Obimula, which is like 88 strength. I still have that. Didn't make vids though, so not great. And then I really got into the hardcore scene. So then I actually started making vids again on my hardcore, and then when I died, I kind of just stopped. And then I made my 10 HP account, and then this account. So yeah, I've gone through quite a lot, but I actually did start off with PKing. Like, that's what interested me in RS, and then I kind of just moved on to progress vids with when hardcore Iron Man came out, and then my 10 HP Iron Man. Anyway, enough rambling. I guess we should go back to the PK vid. So as you can see there, maxed out when he goes in for the Gmaul. I don't think he had spec that time actually. He just went in for a whack, but even with that, like, it's harder for them to eat when they put on the Gmaul, I guess, because they really want to get that hit in. It's not a fair account build, to be honest. And that is something that wasn't super fun about this. Like, the PKs definitely didn't feel earned. It was just kind of like fun. But I only PK'd on this account for, I think, a week. Not even a week, actually. I had this account as a member for 14 days, one bond. That's how long I had it. I made it, or after 90 mage, obviously. I got it 75 attack, I got it all the quest points, and then I PK'd on it. And that's really all I did with this account. Probably not a great, use of my time, but most of it was actually splashing while I was working on other accounts, so I didn't really mind. But I had fun, and isn't that the whole point of RS anyway? Just doing different things, having fun, so yeah. Anyway, this guy does have rune knives, so he is a little bit more of a threat. I think more than half my deaths were to rune knives, so it's definitely something I don't like. But as he goes in for the spec, he hits nothing. My spec's just too OP, and then I max out with a 45 and a venom and a recoil. Not super fair. What was that? Like 68 damage right there? Yeah. Oh no, 58 damage. Yeah, sorry, 58 damage. Venom wasn't maxed. So now this guy, Obimula, 99 strength, 89 hit points. Very strong account, right? Like, should be hard to kill him. But, like, how is he meant to kill me? Because his damage is going to be reduced by half. Like, I guess after a minute, he could then kill me. But, to be honest, after a minute, I'm just going to always eat above, like, 45. Because I know what his max would be. Although I think maybe he can hit more than that. But I would just always eat above 45. And I have Guthix Rest to help me do that. So I don't really see myself dying to an Obimula. Most of them don't actually want to fight me. This guy did because we both unskulled, as you can see here, because obviously most Obimulas bring their necklace and they don't want to risk it if I'm not going to risk it, and I'm not risking, 12 mil for 2 mil or whatever it is. Actually, I think I have more risk than that. So anyway, I max out and he can't eat through it, so he dies. Looks like he has 99 Herblore. That's great account, dude, but wow. A lot more effort put into that account than mine, I can tell you that. Now, this clip's kind of interesting. I did skull numerous times with my toxic staff. I think like 4 of the times were with a risk fight and neither of us died, so it was kind of anticlimactic. We both safed and, we were both telling the other person that they're safing when we were clearly both safing as well. But anyway, this guy's my target and he's only, I think, 50 HP? Yeah, 50 HP. So I was willing to skull up for him. I mean, there's no chance he kills me. I mean, maybe if he maxes, but like, I really doubt it. And if my minute does run up where I don't have my protection, I'm happy to teleport. He's clearly rushing. I don't feel bad teleporting away after my minute runs up. And all I really want him to do is to spec me, because when people spec me, it's their greatest chance to die, because recoil kicks in. I stack up my, hits, and it's really hard for them to eat because they've got their, finger on the spec bar instead of their food. But as you can see here, he wants to get me down with Blitz, and then I just eat to full. I'm like, alright, my Venom's going to kick in soon, so that's easier for me. So he kind of just goes for it when he hits a big hit, and then he dies. So nice and easy. I had plenty of time. I think I still had like 40 seconds on my spec, so it was fine. Probably like 30 seconds. But free upgrade, tier 5, cannot complain. Magic shortbows, haven't really talked about them. Obviously they're great DPS. I did actually die to 2 magic shortbows, I remember this, and both of them spec'd me. So they didn't use their Gmaul, they just spec'd me because they kind of knew about my spec, and they did catch me unaware. I was just like, wait, what about your Gmaul? And then, yeah, they killed me. But as you can see here, he died. Mysterious Emblem. As you can see there, I think it was 150k. This is when Mysterious Emblems were about 200k each. They were very expensive. I don't know why. I was still confused why they were that expensive. I guess people were scamming when selling emblems and stuff. I'm not sure. But either way, good for me, I guess, because I get to sell them for profit. Although it was a little bit unfortunate because before this account, I sold all my emblems on my one attack account, and I had like 70 tier 1s that I sold for 100k. So if I just held on to them, I would have like doubled my money, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not really into PKing for the profit. It was just for fun. And my one attack account, that was a lot of fun because you could fight other one attack accounts as well. Sorry, Obimulas, whatever. So there was definitely more balance to it. But like, look at this guy. He would never kill me. 62 strength, 56 HP, and he's using a rune skim as his main-handed weapon. I mean, like, I feel like I could probably go AFK at this point and I'd kill him. Like, it's not a fair fight. And I don't even think he could he probably didn't even think I could hit above a 30, to be honest. Like, with those kind of fights, it's kind of better to hit low early on so they don't really think to eat. Because if I hit like, 5, 10, 11, and then just whack out the big one, they're always dead. That happens so many times. I didn't include all the clips in this, but I did include most. Some of them that were just kind of boring, I just kind of left out. But, yep, big hits, get kills pretty easily. Looks like I'm on a tier, actually I don't remember what tier that is now. It looks like it's a tier 6 or 7 actually. So I think these were like kind of near my last PKs. I wanted to get a tier 10 before running out of membership. I think I only had a few days left, but not hard. I mean, most of these kills come really, really quick, so getting a tier 10 is not a problem. I think this is the only guy I actually fought who had defense. Now, I'm not sure why he kept his rune on, but that's beside the point. A fairly easy kill, we can say, and I think that brings us up to a tier 7, so 3 more kills for a tier 10, and as long as I don't die, obviously. If I die, I think I'd probably just give up on the tier 10, but anyway, let's go to the next fight. So I think my OS buddy may have run out of membership at this point or something, because I don't see their stats anymore, or maybe I turned it off. I don't think I turned it off, maybe it just wasn't working, but it's a bit unfortunate. I kind of had fun looking over their stats when rewatching or re-editing this, but once again, nice easy kill. Brings us up to a tier 8, I believe, and 2 more kills for... Actually, maybe that's a tier 9. Honestly, it's been so long since I've looked at tiers, I don't remember. Like, they obviously have changed it since the new Bounty Hunter 2 system is out, but I think that might be a tier 9 actually, now thinking about it. So, nice 40, 40, 45 I think it was. Another mysterious emblem, and that's definitely a tier 10. So, we got our goal of a tier 10. Maybe I should have got a few more, but I think at this point I was a little bit bored of it. So these are our end supplies, and I'll just write a list of how much I used in total. So what I did with all my emblems, because this account was about to lose membership and I didn't want to leave the emblems just in there, I think a good decision due to the fact that they've got rid of Bounty Hunter 1 as well now, is I've just sold them to people. Now, I don't know why, but people just seem to trust me first. Like, I was always like, alright, we'll either use a middleman or you pay me first, and they always just paid me first. So this guy gave me 1.2 mil, I put it straight in the bank, and then I just died to him. This guy also paid me first, so he gave me 1.2 mil, and then I asked for the glory back. I really am a cheapskate, but doesn't matter. I mean, don't judge me, please. So as you can see in the bank here, there's 2.4, and then this looks like another tier 7. Yep, so I think he paid me first. Some people we did use a middleman for. I can't remember which. It was so long ago. Oh no, it looks like we have the cash. And then this guy also paid me first. Actually, maybe just the last one was where they used a middleman. I think that was the tier 10, so maybe they definitely wanted to make sure. But anyway, yeah, it's good cash. I mean, it's the only way to get rid of the emblems without using them, and if you use them, you definitely don't get their value worth. So I'm happy to die for it. Just trade it off. It's fine. Some reason I kept my lamp. That's cool. I guess I'll use it for like magic. So these are the supplies used. You can look through them. I somehow used 1000 laws. You might be wondering how that's possible due to the fact that I didn't really use TB. You'll find out soon enough, but I ended up selling all the supplies and all the PK'd loot. Now, I only have a 3-minute clip of this, and then I lost the rest of it. I'm going to explain that in a later video, but all you have to know is I sold all the stuff I PK'd, all my supplies, and then all my gear. I wanted to check how much money I'd have without selling my big gear first though. So as you can see here, I've sold everything and I have 19 mil cash. So that was my end stack of cash without all my big items sold. So it was about like 9 mil in emblems and then 10 mil with supplies and loot. So this is going to be my next account. Now I'm not going to promise when the next video is going to come out. I have already made it, but I don't know when I'm going to release it. I made this account in May 2019. I'm not going to talk too much about it, except for the fact that it's an Ultimate Iron Man, but I've definitely had a lot of fun on it. It's nothing to do with PKing, it's just progress videos, and yeah, so I'm going to end it off here. This was not my last fight actually, this was one of my later flat fights, but I'm just going to leave it off here. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll come back with my new series soon enough. See ya.